What up, YouTube? Right behind me, I got a Stingray C7 Corvette. The window regulator is out on it, so we're gonna go ahead and replace it. I'm making this video because I was looking online on how to replace the window regulator, but nobody really has anything for the C7s. There's for the C6s and prior years, but for this one, nothing. So I'm gonna replace the window regulator. I'm gonna try to be as thorough as possible. Bear with me, I am not comfortable with the camera yet, but I'm gonna try to be very, very detailed. So stay tuned and check it out. Let's see how it goes. All right, so to begin with, these cars are gonna have a T25 Torx down here, and then right here under the door panel. You're also going to take off this little cap, and it's gonna expose a 10mm screw. There's a couple more things I gotta take off. We'll get there when we get there. For now, I'm just trying to figure out where to start, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so this car was missing the screw here. It was missing the screw down here. The next thing I took off was this right here. It's what opens the door. Right inside there, there's gonna be a Torx key. You can't really see it, but it's in there. All right, so this car was missing the screw that holds the panel together here on bottom. Down here too. The one under the plastic is gonna be a Torx key. And then under the door switch, there's supposed to be a 10mm bolt in there, but it's missing. So the next step after this is we're gonna pry these open. We gotta unclip these clips. These clips are gonna be all around the panel. So it's just a matter of popping them out. If you have some of these tools, it'll make it a lot easier. That way you don't damage it. I have a set out there, so I'm gonna go get the correct one so I can pop these out. We'll pull the door panel, and then we'll continue with the removal of the regulator. So let's do it. All right, so once everything's popped off, all these little clips are off, we're just gonna slide this up, and it's gonna come down. Just try to be more careful with it. It's an expensive car, but next step is just unplug all the wires so you can separate this from the car, and then we'll get to the window regulator. Okay, so it's off. Once the panel's ready to come off, all you're gonna do is unhook these two right here. Just two wires, two plugs. And this is where they go. All you're gonna do is just pop these little clips off. Just push them in and pull it out, and it should come right out. Okay, so the next step is there's gonna be this little rubber cover right here. It's gonna be glued on. We have no choice but to pull it off, so we're just gonna rip it off. We can probably use a heat gun to take it off, but we're still gonna have to add fresh silicone on that so it could seal. So I'm gonna take this off, but here's the new window regulator. It's basically only gonna have 4 contact points where it bolts on, and the screw is basically 1. There should be 1 down here, 3 and 4. And then the motor's gonna bolt on here. And then this one is missing another screw here, so, and another one here. What the heck? So I'm gonna have to add a couple more. Let's see. Okay, so this piece is off. Basically, it's just glued on. I tried to do the best I could to save the adhesive. So I'm probably just gonna heat this up with a heat gun when I gotta put it back on. So it'll get a little bit tacky, so I'll be able to slap it back on. But there's 1 screw here. There's 1 screw down here somewhere. 1 definitely here, 1 here, 1 here. Wow, okay. All right, so looking at this, I'm definitely gonna have to take off the woofer. So all it is, it's 4 7mm bolts. So I'm gonna take that off real quick, and then I'll proceed to the next step after this. Okay, once the speaker's off, you're just gonna unplug it by pushing this and pulling out, and the speaker should disconnect. So see if I can do it with one hand. I doubt it, but there it is. Unplugged. Put this away so you don't damage it. And so basically the things holding the window together is this screw right here. It's a Phillips or a 10mm. Just take it off. And then on this side, it's just a 10mm. So take those 2 off, and we'll be able to pull the window out. Once the window's out, we'll be able to undo the rest of the screws and pull out the motor. Let's get it. Okay, so the window is out. I struggled a little bit to get it out, but here's why. You'll be able to access the back part of the mounting bracket for here. So this little tab, you have to basically bend it outward. You bend it outward in order to be able to free the window. Because if you can see here, the new one, it's got that little tab right in there to the right, in here. So you have to be able to pull this tab back enough. If not, the window won't come out. So all I did was use my panel clip, stuck it right behind there, and I was able to wedge it to where it popped back. So that's all you gotta do. If you're struggling at this point, just use a wedge, pop that out, and you'll be able to take it out. Okay, so now that the window is out, it's gonna be 4 screws. There's one, if you follow this on bottom, there's a little rubber plug. It's gonna allow you to access the window regulator bolt. So it's a 10 millimeter here, 10 millimeter right here on bottom, same thing, little plug, and this one right here. Once that's out, you're gonna take off 1, 2, 3 bolts holding the original regulator if you have the original one. If it's aftermarket, you're probably just gonna have this one. So let me take it out real quick and I'll show you what that's like. Okay, so there's the old piece. I was actually able to get everything out through here. The woofer still had to come out just because of the fact that you had to access that bolt, but regulator's out, the window's out. So now it's time to put the new one back in, bolt everything down, tying up the bolt for the motor, put it all back together. So here we go. All right, so the new one's in. Like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4. The motor one here. And then now it's time to put the window in, tighten everything up. Okay, so it's all back together. The windows work. Hold on. Hit the ACC. Okay. There you go. The window works. Good as new. So I ran into this issue where I would hit it up and the window would only go that far and then go down. That far and then go down. So what I had to do was I had to put everything back together. I had to jump inside the car. I had to start the car in order for the window to actually roll all the way up. So put it all together, jump in the car, start it with the door closed, and the window should go back up. So you're good.